The question that I have for today's AGA session is by Alicia from Taiwan. So her questions is more about life after death. So before I start the question off, Pranam, Namaste. My name is Garret. My mission as a life coach is to help people realize their infinite potential by tapping into spirituality, the law of attraction, and feng shui. I'm very blessed to be trained under Himalayan yogi who taught me the ways of the yogic teachings as well as spirituality, which is the whole umbrella of life. So before I start the topic off, please make sure you guys remember to hit like, subscribe, and comment your learnings in the comment section below. I'm dedicated to make 4 videos a week to spread more light and positivity out there to the world. And it's also nice to know where you guys are tuning in from so we could connect in this space. So I'm connecting from a lot of countries, people from US, connecting down to India, all the way down to Asia in Taiwan now. Yeah. So without further ado, let's go into the question. Hi Garret, truly appreciate watching your contents. Thank you, truly honored. My name is Alicia from Taiwan. My best friend just passed away recently due to cancer and I have missed her dearly. My condolences to you. I'm so sorry to hear that. I watched one of the AGA episode on connecting with deceased loved ones. We have lots of Taoist mediums here and I was thinking of connecting with her. Do you think I should do it? Because I wanted to know if she has any dying regrets yet to be fulfilled as she left quickly in the hospital without bidding farewell at night. Also, is there really life after death? Perhaps you can clear this for me as I wanted to know if she would do well after death. Thank you in advance for answering my questions. Okay, so to answer this question, right? So there's actually 2 parts of the question. The first part is whether or not should you engage a Taoist medium to actually connect with her. Okay, so in one of the episodes on AGA, I actually mentioned connecting with deceased loved one. I think that perhaps maybe have given you this idea to actually connect with her since it's your best friend. So first and foremost, I'm truly sorry to hear that she's actually passed on. So sending lots of condolences to you and hope you could actually find peace after this. Okay, so yeah, in the first place, I think connecting with Taoist mediums is getting Taoist mediums to connect with her is no right or wrong. It's just a matter whether you find the right Taoist medium and whether you find the right type of Taoist god to actually help you connect with her, and that would actually require you to have some form of knowledge on Taoist deities. So in the past, the experiences that I have with Taoist mediums and deities, you probably need to find someone that is connected to an underworld deity kind of a connection, because I think depending on the type of religion. So take for instance, if you believe in Taoist medium, so if you are looking to get Taoist mediums, basically Taoism basically believe in hell, okay, and also believe in heaven. So after hell and heaven, then after the reincarnation, the birth cycle, all these kind of things would come back in full. Okay, so the first stage is to actually for all person who passed away and have been deceased, they would actually have to go through hell, this platform first. So yeah, connect if you want to get a Taoist medium. To ensure to check which deities are the suitable kind of mediums for you to actually channel and connect with her. So some of the recommendations that I could advise you to check on would be like the black and white impermanence. So in Mandarin, I'm not sure whether you're a Chinese, but I think you should be because you're staying in Taiwan, right? So should be 黑白无常, okay, or 大二爷伯, okay, or 七爷八爷. In Taiwan should be 七爷八爷. So yeah, you should actually connect with the Taoist media. I'm pretty sure there's quite a lot over there. So yeah, considered one of the 八家将, which is one of the quite famous mediums and deities in Taiwan. So I think you should probably try to get a medium that actually channels these deities. Okay, or you could also find like 孟婆 or like 密婆, sorry, not 孟婆, 密婆. So basically she's a lady that helps you channel the information of dead souls into their body. So basically you can connect when she's in her body. But you really need to find a reputable source, or you really need to find a reliable source, because when we talk about channeling information and we talk about specific spiritual kind of gifts or spiritual kind of especially when it comes to mediumship and channeling of information, right? There's a lot of I'm not saying that there's a lot of bad people out there, but I'm saying that there's quite a lot of unreputable ones that do unethical kind of means. So you are not really sure whether she's telling the truth, or whether is it a real mediumship or is it a fake mediumship. So it gets a little bit complicated when you kind of go in towards finding the right source. So please make sure that you check your sources before you actually engage their services, because I'm pretty sure that they sure charge a certain fee, or even if they don't charge a certain fee, you probably need to give them like a red packet or red envelope for their services, right? So everything end of the day is still money. So if you paid for a service and then the service is not something that is genuine, then I think it's something that you need to consider. Okay, so no right or wrong. If you really truly miss her, and if you can find a reputable source, then by all means do it, because then you're definitely gonna get the answer that you want. Okay, so is there really life after death? Okay, so the moment, I think this answers pretty much your first. The first question most likely answers your second question partly, right? So as soon as you engage a Taoist medium or a channeler to basically help you connect with her, right, then you will most likely have that answer once you connect with her, because all I can tell you is also from a perspective of mine, okay, and my perspective could be very biased, you see, and biases means that because we are all alive, right, we are still all physical human beings still, right? So even though we are spiritual beings in a physical body, but the thing is we are still a physical being and we are still living in this physical life. So whatever I say is based on my perspective, my studies, my understanding, and based on what I've viewed in the meditations and also during sleep dimensions as well. So all this can still be very prejudiced, or it could still be very biased. However, I can still give you what are my takes on this, okay? So there is definitely life after death. What I can tell you is definitely based on my perspective, okay? So certain people might not agree, but whoever that doesn't agree is basically, it may be broken down because of religion basis, okay? However, if I try to make it in the most scientific way to understand, we are all energy, okay? Spirit is energy, right? So energy can't, even in thermodynamics, we already studied in science that energy can't be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred and passed on. So if we die, our physical body dies, right? Then where does the spirit go? It has to go somewhere, right? So when it goes to somewhere, where is the next dimension that they need to go to? That is the question, you see. And I've also mentioned in part of one of my videos is that there's a lot of dimensions, and that time is not linear, time is parallel. So there's a multiverse out there. So there's a lot of different time zones moving on in different dimensions, you see. So, and different dimensions, time work differently as well. So perhaps in heaven, okay, heaven, a second in heaven is probably like what, 10 years or 20 years over here, or 100 years, you wouldn't know, you see. So time work very differently in different dimensions. That's what I'm trying to say. So in short, right, there's definitely a lot of different dimensions, and I myself has witnessed several dimensions and several kind of beings in my own meditations, in my deep meditations. So whether or not there's life after death, I can definitely tell you from my perspective there's definitely life after death, because when the spirit moves on from the physical shell, then it has to go to somewhere. So whether or not that spirit body moves on to heaven or hell, that I can't tell you, but it's definitely there's another dimension that person has, that spirit needs to wait, okay? And then while this spirit is waiting in this dimension to be given another new form to take into, okay? Or perhaps maybe liberation, okay? However, liberation, all this, it comes back down to part religion again, and it also becomes part of the spiritual practice that person follows. But there's a certain thing if you connect it to spiritual science. So spiritual science is basically like the yogic sciences. Okay, yogic sciences believe that everyone is here to on a karmic debt, okay? And to fulfill this karmic debt, the sooner you fulfill this karmic debt, then the sooner you will burn all this memory in your spirit, and then you go into liberation. Then that's what we call mukti or moksha, okay? Mukti or moksha is basically liberation. So that's the end of the story. So basically just like Buddha on enlightenment, the moment he reached nirvana, the stage of nirvana, that's where he already burned all his karmic debts. And when he burned all his karmic debt, there's no way that he could actually maintain a physical shell or physical body anymore. Because when you want to attain enlightenment, and when you burn so much of your karmic debt, right, that when there's no physical memory in his spirit, right, he can't maintain any physical shell, any physical form anymore. That's why he has to go into nirvana. So basically just liberation, okay? So same thing. All I can tell you is that the spirit has to move on to a certain dimension. Whether it's heaven or hell, whatever it is, it still has to move on. And it's just a transition. Every stage, different stage is a transition. So it transits into a different dimension, wait there, and based on whatever karmic memory that he or she has attained in this lifetime, whatever she fulfilled. Just like, I think I probably would liken this to a plus and minus kind of scale. So if she's done quite a lot of good memories, and she's done quite a lot of good karmic debts or karmic memories, so she has been a bubbly or a good person, okay, or she's done quite a lot of good deeds, so she's probably attained quite a lot of good memories in her spirit. So when she's done a lot of good memories, then she would probably move to another spiritual form or another dimension, okay? When she moves into a different dimension, then God, universe, or source, or creator themselves would probably be able to judge where partly 50%, maybe partly would be God will give, God or creator or source or creation would give your friend a spirit, right, a selection choice, okay, of being choose whether she could choose to be another human being this time, or she wants to be in which country. So she has part of the selections, okay, and then she has, and part of the selections is all decided by creator himself, okay? So part selection by creator, part creation, part selection by your friend. So it's always remember, everything is always a co-creation, okay? It's always a co-partnership with the universe, okay? So this is based on my understanding and based on my perspective. So you may not have to believe this, but all I can tell you is there's definitely life after death. And if you were to go deep into meditations, you can even go all the way to access your Akashic records. So if you go into Akashic records, right, that is really moving into past life regression. So that's where you could even find out your past life, your past spirit, whether what was your form in the past. So if you may have died so many times in your lifetime before you eventually reach this life as Alicia, okay? So you can connect back if you connect into Akashic records, okay? You can go into different time lapse, different timelines, okay? Time travel, okay? So all this is all complicated things really, okay? So in short, I can tell you is there's definitely life after death for me, okay? And if you want to really delve into this deeper, you can do your research, you can go into spiritual practice. Ultimately, the connection will always be meditation. And if you are able to delve deep and you've been given access to certain permissions to go into Akashic records, then you'll be able to go back deeper, okay? So I hope I've answered your questions. So yeah, I think this is the 2 questions. I hope I answered your questions. Yeah, and I hope you learned something from this video. And if you do, please make sure you comment your learnings in the comment section. Okay, with that, I end off my video. Pranam, namaste.